Well, thank you for staying with us. It's time now for us to cut into the newspapers, and I'll be doing so shortly. My partner in good things, positive things, is here with me in the studio. I'm sure you know him. He's my brother from another mother, and when I'm not here, you would often see his face. If you've not guessed yet, well, it's a secret I'm going to keep till I get to him. But let me just say a very good morning. Yesterday, I met one of those fans, someone who loves the AM show and watches every morning, Eva Hackman of Zipline Omenako. Eva Hackman, this is for you. I know you're probably watching. I'll do it again, should I recall, at the end of the news review. But Eva Hackman, thank you for choosing Joy News, choosing the AM show, choosing us. Thank you so much. This segment is brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. And of course, your health is your wealth, which is why you can't dilly-dally, play with it. You should be checking your prostate if you're a man, especially after the 30s. It's no longer after the 50s. Your 30s, you should start checking. I'm telling you what is scientific because of happenings in recent times and the fact that we of this race tend to be more susceptible to prostate issues, the men, okay? If you're a woman, what's your fertility status? Do you know? That's why you have to head to Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. And here's where you can locate them. Here in Accra at Spintex, opposite the Shell signboard. In Kumasi, Kronumabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's also Takrade Anaji Estate. The one who's joining me on the show is very familiar with that area. There's the Community 22, Techiman Hanso and Esiamanzama. Their call lines are 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Make your way to them. But just the start of the news review with my man.
Yep.
My man.
Yo.
Samuel.
Yo.
Kojo Brave.
The Akakpo.
SKB. Yeah, the Asante no can one asa. Yeah, the doctor. Shouts to our senior man.
SKB Asante.
Nana.
Doctor. Charlie.
Yeah.
Too much. But I wouldn't say too much, pa.
What I say?
Too much.
No. I've not got. How can you mention Doc and say he's too much, and then in the same breath mention me and say I'm too much?
No, I mean,
I'm not on that level.
Not really in the same line.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just coincidence. But also
I'm recusing myself.
Yeah, also too much, yeah.
Just like you.
Lawyer in the making. Oh. Charlie, how many languages can you speak now?
English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, a little German. Let's say 4.5.
Charlie.
Or 4.25.
Yeah. You have a huge profile, yeah?
We need to get Arabic and maybe Mandarin Chinese in there. Then we'll see how
Then you're good to go.
And the kids, when they do come, they must, our children are supposed to step or sit on our shoulders and see Father. So if I do 5 or 6 or 7, they must do. But you see, the way the world is going, AI.
Yeah.
It's taking people's jobs.
Yeah, sure.
The developments across the world, if some things don't set you apart, you're going to be in a fix. I'll tell you for a fact, I have had certain roles, apart from everything else I've had certain roles, secured certain jobs, got certain gigs, purely because of my linguistic toolkit.
Yeah.
Purely. I MC programs. There's this program I did last year, and it was, apart from everything else that I'm capable of, it was also because they could not find anyone who spoke French. I've been doing stuff with certain entities. I mean, I don't want to mention names, but it is crucial. And I've always said that if I were in any leadership position in this country, one thing I would push for hard is for us to go hard on languages, especially French. We're surrounded by Francophone countries for crying out loud. So you'd notice that for the African and West African portfolios, Ghanaians are really good, but they often lose out to the Francophones because the Francophones always have a good background in English, but our English-speaking or Anglophone countries, especially Ghana,
we're poor in Francophone. But this reminds me of a discussion. Would you say that because of that, we should sacrifice our own languages then?
The local languages?
Exactly.
No. You can do them side by side. I'll tell you, in the Ivory Coast and other places, do you know what they do? They have their local language set. They have French, which is their national language anyway. In the Ivory Coast, you will learn either of, is it Spanish or German? In addition to, so a lot of my Ivorian friends speak either Spanish or German.
Well, I was having a discussion with someone, and he was of the view that he wouldn't necessarily compel his kids to speak his language. Because,
His local language.
Yeah, because they won't do anything with it in life. Rather, he would wish that they learn French, Spanish, or German. And I was like, no. If you do that, you are enslaving yourself and your children. It is important that they learn other languages, but you can't say they should sacrifice their own language for other language. No. You see, it's important we learn, like you're here, you're so capable because of the languages that you do know. But I'm not sure when they speak ever to you, first of all, if they say F1, can't you respond?
I can.
Exactly. So why would we think that, because our languages are not international? For example, I'm a hunter. Someone will ask, okay, so if you let your kids learn your hunter language, when they go to England or they go to America or they go to Spain, are they going to use their hunter language there? No, they won't. But it is also important that they get to know where they are from, their identity. You don't sacrifice their own language because I want them to learn English or French. So I tell them that, my friend that, look, that's why I strive to put the kids in a better school. Go learn the English language, be taught French, be hard in it. I mean, when they get to senior high school, I find a way to even take them to Ivory Coast or somewhere so that they could learn the French language. But I can't say that because of that. I would say that when they come home, I'll speak English with them. No.
I'll tell you what, Samuel. That is getting lost. Now, many people don't know this, but I didn't grow up speaking Twi. I had to, at a point in time, learn how to speak Twi. Today I can read Twi, I can read Twi. All through no schooling, through my own effort.
Exactly.
Do you get it? Because I would have been completely lost. From the part of the country I hail, in the OT, and we speak Twi.
Yes.
Some will speak Guan. So my effort is not the best. But I understand when you speak. I can understand a lot of Ga. I just can't articulate everything properly. I can even speak a bit of Dagbani, just a little bit. You understand? We have to, and the positioning is this. The best way to learn another language is to start from your root or source language. Whether it is Ewe, Twi, Fanti, Dagbani, or whatever, or Hanta. That's what people don't know. Yeah. So to say I want to give capacity, international capacity to my children when they do come, in terms of international languages, is by no means suggesting that because there's this outfit up north. It attends to children who have been schooled, for a large, some are 10 years, 12 years, they've never been to school. They have a system they run.
Is it?
So when, I've forgotten but Dr. Abudu was speaking to me about it some time back. When they start you off, they don't start with English. They start with your local language and teach you certain things. So by the time they get into English, the understanding is there. But even one thing, if you don't start from the source, that's one of our problems. The child is going straight to English, has no knowledge of, but if you know that this is a noun in Ewe, and this is how it works, and this and that, when you're teaching the person about a noun in English,
it's simple. I mean, research has even, tried to give concretize this point that it is important you start off a child in his or her own mother language.
Exactly.
And then he can easily translate into English, French, or what have you. And I used to tell my friend, this same friend I was having the discussion with, like, look, when I was growing up, my mother was a stark illiterate, and I spent almost all my time with my mother. But it didn't make me a bad English student. I was even told in the senior high school, my friends will tell you I was an Greek student, but in English, I was always up there. It was only Justice Bedu who put me off the page, I think, twice or so.
Justice Bedu, shouts to him this morning.
And that's why I went to look for him. That's why we became friends.
Oh, I see.
I didn't understand who could push me off the English topping ladder. So I want to ask, who's Justice Bedu? And I found him, and then we became friends. So if you don't, it does not mean you are not good if your child doesn't speak English to you in the home, or your parents do not speak English to your children, in the home. It doesn't mean you are bad at all. No, let the kids learn their own language. Teach them. Let them accept it. Then it will be easier for them to move on to English or French or any other language I say that I did it, and I believe my kids are also doing it. I let them speak Ahanta in the home, Ahanta and Fanta.
That's it.
Yeah.
Especially as your language is on the verge of extinction.
Yes. So you speak Ahanta in the home. When you go to school, they learn English. And I think that my kids are good, really, really good.
That's the point.
So it doesn't mean that when they come home, force them to speak English. I'm saying this because the other time I was somewhere, and a parent was asking someone to speak English to the child. And I was like, no, we are not in school. When they go to school.
I saw that post.
Yeah.
I saw that post.
I think it's something that we need to check. And other people feel that, when they are home, speak English to them. Because English is international. His Akan or his Fanti or Wasa or Nzima won't do anything.
Here's a quick scenario. You only speak English to the children. And me, my children will speak very good English. Of course.
Yeah,
my father son and daughter.
Because you speak it
But
better.
imagine they go out there and someone is plotting to kidnap them. And the person is speaking Chi or Ga or something. I mean, worst case scenario. They don't understand a word. What do you think will happen?
Yeah. They are goners.
So make them rounded. That's the whole thing.
That's it.
This morning, I just saw, we've posted on our Joy News on Facebook, what makes you proud as a Ghanaian? I want to start the conversation from here. You can go on Joy News on Facebook and check it out and give us your response. But what makes you proud as a Ghanaian, and what makes you feel as though you didn't want to be Ghanaian? I want to look at both sides very quickly before we get into...
I think our hospitality.
Hospitality?
Yes.
Are we still that hospitable anyway?
I think, in a way.
In a way.
When you go to the rural areas, I think in the city you might not really see that often, but in the rural areas, look, if you're a stranger, someone will find you and give you somewhere to sleep, or would keep you company until you are able to make your way out of that community. So I think that really inspires me, the way we are, especially when we meet ourselves outside of the country. A woman was telling me a story of how her child got help just because of this same language we were speaking. I mean, the person was on the phone, spoke a certain language. The person said, hey, you are this, oh, I'm also this person. And then that was it. Then help started coming in. So that's one thing. But what doesn't make me too proud is how our leaders behave. I think it leaves much to be desired, really. If you look at the sort of leadership we do have in this country, there's much more we could do. Yeah.
Well, for me, what makes me proud as a Ghanaian, this is the land of my birth. I love this country through and through. I love our history. I love the heritage. I love what we can be, what we can become. What makes me ashamed to be Ghanaian? Misleadership. Don't call it leadership. It's not leadership.
Okay.
Misleadership.
Oh, you have always said this.
Things like Galamsey, which are we are destroying the future for those yet to come. The corruption, that one I can find so many, so let's just leave it there. It breaks my heart. And this morning, as I share my blunt thoughts on the state of Ghana, new month, same old nonsense, Ghana's fast sinking ship. I'll be talking about something like the taxes on pads. Minia, why should we have so many taxes on pads? 35% import duty, 20%. You have another 15% VAT. Why?
Yeah. I think as for that campaign, I think that it would yield a result soon, because it will get to a point government will get to see that, well, we need to do something about it. If our kids are not able to get parts because they are expensive, and because of that, some irresponsible men are taking advantage to impregnate these children, and even in worst cases, spreading HIV and AIDS to them. I mean, that insensitivity, irresponsibility, and I think that it will compel government to take a look at it again. For the sake of those very poor young girls, government need to look at that and
there are so many more of them. Those who can afford it versus those who can't afford it. There are so many more of those who can't afford it. So many people are falling into multi-dimensional poverty on the back of COVID-19 and this harsh economic situation. Why? I'll be sharing the example of other African countries, and it would amaze you. Many of these African countries have scrapped all taxes on sanitary pads. Yet in Ghana, we've heaped 35% on it. Who does that?
That's something we need to.
And I'll play that video, a snippet of that video about the young girl who on the back of this gave herself out to a predator, impregnated her, and infested her or infected her with HIV. All because she could not afford a sanitary pad.
It's sad, really.
Yeah.
Really. And I think the government should expedite actions on this. I mean, this one, it won't take them too much to...
This campaign, I promise to be on... Because I started saying it even before recent times with this, but I'm going to keep up on this campaign till something is done about those taxes.
We need to remove the taxes on the parts. Anyway.
Kojo, let's get into the papers now. You do the two papers you have.
Okay, but before I get into it, it's shocking how Ghana, the state of Ghana, has neglected the Sipon Sports Stadium.
You went there?
To be deteriorating to the level it is. Look, Ben, when I went in there, I was shocked because the first time I was there, I was watching a game between Sky FC and one other team. And it was so beautiful. That was my really first experience in a football stadium. And I loved it. I loved the Sipon Stadium. So when I went there the second time and I saw what had happened, it's like, wow. How can people, and that's the place that the National Sports Authority has its offices. How can we sit there and watch them for the stadium to deteriorate to that level? The finance minister came out to say that rehabilitation works on that stadium were 90%. And I got there and I was like, what?
Was it 98 or 90 on that one?
He says 90.
90%.
Who was really feeding the finance minister with all of these reports? Those people who were doing that were really, I don't know the adjective I have to give them, but they are nation wreckers. Because for a stadium like that, and if you see the pictures, Ben, we have it on my Joe Online and on our Facebook pages, it's just beyond description. A city that I sat on some time ago, and I go there and I meet rusted metals. Really? Oh, this country.
So if we didn't want to do it in the first place, why start it? Use our taxpayers' money, start the project, let it stall, and then now, so when you look at those seats, what it means is everything has to be removed and changed one more time.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Everything has to be removed.
Let's get into the papers.
Anyway, I have I have the Daily Guide, the Daily Statesman, and the new Crusading, the new Weekend Crusading Guide. Now, from the Daily Guide newspaper, I was in Ghana on my birthday. That's according to the Energy Minister, Napo. 7 killed in fight over land. That's a story that came from the Kosan place, Lukula. I think they say it's a border community between Northeast and that region. Now, Tema TikTok couple caged. Afoko denied bail again. Monga refuses to plead. Okay, now let's go into it.
I guess that is talk about Oliver Mahosi using the law.
Now, 70-year-old chief of the Kuwerugu community near Lukula in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region has been reportedly killed in a renewed communal violence over disputed land. Salifu Nachina was said to have been shot dead at his house by gunmen who invaded the community. According to unconfirmed accounts, 6 other individuals were killed and several others were injured during the clash between members of the Gonja and Mamprisi tribes in Lukula, North Gonja district. Among the injured are 3 police officers who were dispatched to the Lukula community to restore law and order. The violence erupted yesterday dawn following 2 days of tension in the community, and eyewitnesses claimed several houses, mostly belonging to members of the Mamprisi tribe, were destroyed. Yesterday we spoke to the DCE of the area, and he sought to portray that, well, it is not like we are hearing that people are dead and that everything is under control. They've dispatched some military men, security personnel to go there to keep the place under control. We'll be there today to really check how the community is, but it's just shocking how these things keep coming up. Yesterday when I saw the story, I was like, why do we almost all the time hear some of these stories from that part of the country? I think that our brothers and sisters there should, for once, sit down and think about the future of their children. Because when I saw videos of the community, I was asking myself, so if a child is living in this community, what sort of future is he or she looking up to? So they have to really sit down, take a stock of themselves and decide that let's end all of this. What can we do really? What can the country do to fast track this process? Whatever we can, we need to do them, because hearing that month in, month out, there are issues of fightings and killings up north, it's heartbreaking for all of us, really. It's very, very heartbreaking to hear these stories of clashes and death, bloodshed in these communities. They have to have a simple confab and decide on the way forward, because really,
and this is not to suggest that people of that extraction are prone to anything.
No.
But it is to say that we need peace. Do you know why it's so troubling? Even apart from what is happening in those enclaves and the fact that there is loss of lives and property and all of that, this feeds into the terrorist scourge, insurgency scourge. If you allow these to foment long enough, it's like a gangrenous sore or going gangrene. If you allow the sore to fester long enough, you have serious problems in future. And looking at our sub-region and everything that is happening, that's not something we can afford to do.
Yeah. That's why I wish that, we have very fine people coming from there. Look at my own friend in Bura. Solid young man. And I'm sure these kind of people are scattered all over. At the university, when I was doing my undergraduate, my course rep, who was a course rep throughout, is from that area, Haruna. Fantastic young man. Look at the MPs that we have from that extraction. Look at the people in politics from that extraction. Fantastic young people. So I think that there has to be a discussion amongst themselves to see how we can end this. The other time was Boko, when the MP was even out of the country and he tried so hard to ensure that calm was restored. Can we for once have a discussion and see how we can really deal with this? Because, look, I'm not too happy when I do hear these stories coming from that end. And it goes to all of us, all around the country, whether it is chieftaincy dispute or whatever. It is not worth it for us to share blood because of a misunderstanding. No, it is not worth it. Every misunderstanding can be settled when we do, have a tete-a-tete with it. Because whatever it is, whether it was started by our grandparent or whatever, they say that everything that has a beginning has an end. So whatever began should end at a point. So we should find a way to solve this. It's not really interesting for us to always be dwelling on this. Well, Ben,
and the chief of the area was also was a victim.
Yeah, was killed really.
Yeah,
he was in his home.
Yeah,
and some people attacked him and shot him. What for? What briefing were they given?
Yeah,
that really
on the back of another chief who was supposed to enter the town and
that convinced you so much that taking someone's life will really solve it.
But this is where we also have to really take another look at our chieftaincy institution and the disputes that have been simmering and how to resolve them. The House of Chiefs, the regional and national House of Chiefs. Over to you. Let's make tracks.
Well, okay, so let's look. Let's go to the Daily Statesman because of time, right? So let me do that.
Oh, you can do some more stories. I will cut mine to the barest minimum.
Okay. Well, let me just do this one. Okay, I'll come to the here because I see a story on the here, so I'll come there. But let me do this story from the New States, the Daily Statesman. It says we need peace in Boko. VIP calls for collaborative effort from stakeholders. GFZA, that's the Ghana Free Zones Authority, unveils aftercare unit platform. NPP is on its way to making presidential history, and it comes with a picture of the National Youth Organizer Salam Mustafa. Govt says, I will offer transformational leadership as he picks his form. Well, all parties involved in Boko conflict have been charged to work together with the government and other important stakeholders to find solutions to any problems impeding the peace and development of the area, addressing traditional authorities and the people of the Upper East region during the commissioning of the renovated offices of the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs in Bolgatanga. Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia expressed dissatisfaction at the attacks, injuries, and compromised security in the Boko area, which had impacted negatively not just on the area, but to the nation as a whole. Quote, as a son of the soil, my heart breaks about what is happening in Boko. The conflict in Boko is very unfortunate because we are one people and we should be together and not fighting. End of quote, he said. That's the point.
That's the whole point.
That's the point. We are one people. No matter what we do.
Different colors, different languages, one people. Like that song.
Yes.
Different colors, one people, different colors, one people.
You see, look, I let me use you, Imbura, and myself.
Yeah.
We are from different parts.
Yet we're family.
Yes, we met here at Joy.
We're actually family. Like,
yeah.
we
bond.
We do together. I mean,
we bond so well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether I'm from the south, you are from the north, or you are from the central. We are one people. How much more if we are from the same region? That's the call the vice president is making. That look, we are one people. We don't need to kill ourselves again. Let's end it, really. Well, Manchester United.
Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. I'll leave the end for you. Glory, glory, Man United.
And the boys go marching on. That's what it is.
So, Manchester Derby.
Ever.
I think it's the first time we're clashing in the final.
FA Cup?
In the final.
Yeah.
I heard something like that on the BBC. I mean, the sports team could correct me, but I heard something like that, and that would. But
it really shows that football is made in Manchester anyway.
Oh yeah.
Now Manchester United from unorthodox to unreliable. Oh, what has happened to De Gea? Really, that's a question. Well, I'm not sure De Gea has been unreliable. He has been reliable, really. If you check the saves that he's made this year, he's won the Golden Gloves. So for the Premiership, it means that he's reliable as always. Now, the New Weekend Crusading guy says Nsafwa Poku picks forms to lead party to victory.
Kojo Poku.
Yes, exactly. Now, big feat for Ghana Free Zones Authority, inaugural business support interaction. UEW Winneba Boils again, that university. Autocratic in court. Nana Ofori Ansah must go. Concerned staff bay for governing council chairman's head. Works and Housing Minister commissions SHC housing project at Adenta and comments management and staff.
Before you get into any other story, our director who decides to take us on, I'll mention his name, Patrick Gomez.
Gomez. What did he say?
Well, he was calling our team Manchester United a losing party.
Okay.
Wait.
No.
Were they not his team, Barcelona?
What does it?
Was it not the team we ousted from?
Oh, he supports Barcelona.
Yes, he's a Barcelona fan.
Any Barcelona fan is really. I don't want to really be on their wrong side this morning, but a lot of the times, if you support
that
Barcelona,
team has not. It's been in a shambles for how long now?
But really bad.
And he's still whispering in my ear, and I'm not even
we
going.
beat them terribly in the Europa Cup. We did.
Tima Barcelona.
Oh no.
Charlie, let's move on. Let's treat them.
You remember
let's treat him and his team with the contempt.
There was this finding that Barca has been paying referees. And,
I know all of that.
So real.
Barca entwas.
And all your glory were referee aided, really.
And we knew. But then you see, at this decision, this penalty, and now it's coming out. We've seen it clearly. I can see clearly now the matches were bought.
We want a better team like Real Madrid to come and challenge us, not Barca.
But on that note, Karim Benzema is leaving Madrid.
Oh!
That's the news.
Wow, for which team?
Well, he may also be headed for Saudi Arabia. You know, Lionel Messi.
Oh, he's also going there? He's no longer going to Barca.
So you see, where 0 goes, the rest of the
world goes.
What do you say? Let's do this.
CR7. Nobody. Let's go into yours.
All right, so the Daily Graphic this morning, I'll not go into too much detail, but spate of collapsed buildings. MMDAs must enforce land use laws. Spatial Planning Authority says so. Then, Asin North, current beehive of political activity. I'll come to you on that because our politicians, it is when something like this is there. Do you see the overnight road tarring and stuff in Kumeu? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
In Timunim. Munnim so mu hia akwan. So mu be yi akwan wo ho. So mu twen ye. By election ba there. Oh, we'll tar it, we'll asphalt it. Useless. You will not do it. You see, I've always said, Kojo, if our leaders do the right things, probably they will not have to campaign.
Oh, yeah.
But because they do the wrong things and they want to pacify people, you know, the opposition actually got more votes this time in Kubeu. The by-election.
Okay.
They actually secured more votes.
Because the vote of the independent candidate also dwindled.
Yes, but if you look at the differences, they are gaining ground. Why? You are not delivering to the people. If you want to do last-minute, midnight stuff, it tells me you are not there for me, and I will not compromise on something like that. And our leaders have to move away from that stance. Do what the people deserve. You see, in the Ashanti region now, there's a lot of talk. Recently, one of the major chiefs there was saying they are being taken for fools. I agree. If you say you're a party for, by and large, you are from that region, look at what is happening in that region. Do you get what I'm saying? And how about the rest of the country? Look, if you go to some places up north, your head will pie you. Why? Are they not Ghanaian? Seek advice if hypertension drugs make you sexually weak. That's according to a surgeon. Seek advice. But hypertension drugs, though, come with a number of complications, depending on you, the person, depending on what you're treating, depending on the degree of your ailment. But this, unfortunately, is becoming very common with young people as well. Becoming hypertensive. And we have to look at that. But efforts to grow economy focus on SMEs. Professor Bokpin to Government and Graphic Business Access Bank SME Clinic. Yes.
So that's why I Joy News. Now, I think we have 2 of those machines that you can check every day.
I checked mine the last time.
How your BP and all of that is. So it helps you to keep track. If you are getting off, you seek early medical attention so that you don't get to veer off. So we need to be doing that very often. When we don't know some of the illnesses that we were only for older people today, all of us young people are getting them. So we need to check, and even in our eating as well. We don't exercise too, Ben. You sit in the car, drive to work.
Massa, let me share with you. Do you know my story? For a long time now, what I do is I have equipment at home that I use.
Okay.
Now I've been going to the gym on Saturday. I want to add at least maybe a Wednesday to it. After work, I hit the gym. And Charlie, this body that God, this temple that God has given us,
Charlie,
must last the entire span, and the talent must be brought to bear. And we must. What you here?
Charlie.
We can't come and waste the time.
Those days, I remember those days. Every evening, I'm on the field. But today, Charlie.
But you see, the thing is, if you want to use work, you know how busy our schedule is. And the hours of the day we are waking up and all of that. If you don't consciously and viciously deal with yourself to make time, the time will come when you'll be forced to go horizontal.
Charlie. Anyway.
But this one, just as we get ready to wrap, a professor of economics and finance at the University of Ghana, Godfrey Alufa Bokpin, has urged the state to prioritize and focus on small and medium enterprises in its quest to grow the economy. He stressed the need for deliberate support for the growth of the private sector, especially SMEs. And on page 13, a consultant cardiothoracic surgeon and director of the National Cardiothoracic Center at the Kojo Teaching Hospital, Professor Matete, has advised men who suffer from sexual weakness after taking antihypertensive drugs to consult their doctors for other medications instead of abandoning treatment altogether. So don't throw the treatment away and say, because it's having this impact. You know, a lot of drugs come with contraindications and side effects. Yeah. So just look at that. The final newspaper, EcoBank doles out $120,000 to support elimination of malaria in Ghana. Kudos to EcoBank for that. And then, yes, kudos. I was there yesterday. Zipline made over 370,000 deliveries since 2019. That's according to the general manager. I was at this event in Omenako. And I think we'll leave it there. Do you have any final words before we wrap?
No, I just wish our viewers all the best for the morning, and everybody who is celebrating a birthday should have a good one.
Speaking of which, I see this video coming in from a very prominent person. I will not mention his name. I'll get to it and respond to him. But good morning. This one says, good morning. I'm reading the message verbatim. Good morning. Can you please send birthday greetings to my friend Harriet Gifty Amuni of the Upper East Health Directorate for me? And I wish her the best in life and may God bless her. This is from your friend Konto Jocelyn of SDD Ubits in Wa. So from Konto Jocelyn of SDD Ubits in Wa to Harriet Gifty Amuni, Upper East Health Directorate. Happy birthday to you. One more time, let me give shouts to Eva Hackman of Zipline Omega Menaco. I met this young lady at the facility yesterday and she came, she was so impressed. She didn't know, in fact, she had heard I was going to be there. Okay. And she watches the AM show religiously. Really? She loves the show, and so I had to do it for her. Eva Hackman, Zipline Omenako, together with the entire Zipline team there, Mr. Boame. Boame was my classmate from in Bishop Herman College, way back.
Was he my mate or my, we met in UCC as well. I don't know whether he was my mate or...
And then Mr. Ekufu, the Ghana lead for Zipline, as well as Wilfred Bernard and all the others from Zipline.
We'll talk about the other one when you go off air.
We'll talk about the other one.
Once I know you were there.
Which other one?
Hold on. Well, you know what I'm talking about. We need to.
Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic helping us to bring you this news review. They are offering free prostate screening and free female fertility screening as well. Locate them in Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi, Krono, Mabwehian behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takrade Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanso and Esiama in Zima. You can call them on 0244-867-068 or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Also note, all of us need water. Almost 70% in males more than in females, but almost 70% of our water, our body's composition is water. We also know water is life. And Awake is premium purified water treated through a strict purification process to ensure that every bottle on the market refreshes you better. And guess what? We have the perfect sizes for all purposes. So for the kids, for example, 330 and 500 ml bottles to fit in their pockets and bags. 750 ml for the heavy drinkers, 1.5 liters for those who always want more, like me. They also have their 19-liter jar bottles, which are ideal for homes and offices. So all you must do now is drink Awake Purified Drinking Water wherever you go. So choose a bottle of Awake Purified Drinking Water today and get quality, top-notch hydration. Awake Purified Drinking Water, one for life. Remember, for every bottle you buy, I always slow down here, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. Many cannot foot their bills. Each time you purchase Awake, they drop in a little coin for them so they can receive health care. It's another quality product by Casapreco Company Limited. For bulk purchases, just call 0262 351 251. And remember, this advert is FDA approved. Now, up next on Prime Take, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi engages Ghanaian defender. And now, out there, we're wondering which team is going to be playing for, but he is performing for Ghana. Tariq Lamptey, that is up next on Prime Take. Do stay.